Well, we're gonna kick off. Hello, everyone. I'm Antonio Carlos, and this is Economia Creativa virtual workshop mapping creativity in workplaces. So we're over the next 20, 25 minutes or half an hour or so, we're going to be having an interactive session discussing and exchanging good practices on how to apply creativity in workplaces and organizations and businesses, which I think is particularly a relevant topic nowadays due to the pandemic. Many institutions has been for if no were not considering before creativity as one of the key aspects, they have been pushed to do it, to take it now for sure. This a strategic approach into their business plan, into their business modeling, and thinking how to cope with the current challenges and crises. So first of all, thanks very much for all of you for the interest and for joining this session live, which after, of course, we will also share it in a video, so for those who couldn't join today. And if you, in the brainstorming session particularly, which it will be in around 10 minutes starting, so if you want to contribute, so please just raise your hand, and then in the Zoom, and then we will have the time to see what is the good practice you would like to share. And so I will just go quickly through the schedule for today. As I mentioned, it would be a brief presentation of a report which I conducted. Was one of my work during one of the projects I was working on during the confinement, the lockdown. Which it was the mapping creativity in the European Union, the role of human development, digitization, and sustainability. And from this report, one of the sections is particularly dedicated, specifically dedicated to analyzing the creativity in workplaces. So I built a creativity index for workplaces, and then I will be presenting briefly key findings from this report. And then we will move to the interactive session with a brainstorming and a good practice exchange. And we will come up, hopefully, with in this brief meeting with some key ideas and then some conclusions and food for thought for thinking forward in the topic, which is also going to be summarized into a short report or blog article, which we're going to publish also in Economia Creativa blog in our website, in the section in the blog. So that will be also available for everyone. So without further delay, because we have quite a tight schedule for just a half an hour meeting, so I will start with mapping creativity in EU's workplaces, which like I mentioned, is a section from the report I was conducting. So very briefly, I will just introduce who we are in Economia Creativa. So we are a creativity and innovation lab, and we are based in Spain, in Malaga, in Marbella, but we work globally, and so we develop projects and we have actually developed projects across many countries, in more than 17 countries, and now, and for a long time already, digitally also at the global level. So the team is, sorry, I will just briefly introduce the team. So my colleague Justina, who is digitally speaking today as well. So she's tweeting at the same time we are speaking about this workshop. And myself, and of course we are the leadership team, but we count with a large network of experts also when depending of the project needs. And so once I introduce briefly, so like I mentioned earlier, this what I will be presenting is key findings from the report which I mentioned earlier, the mapping creativity in the European Union, and then the role of human development, digitization, and sustainability. And so this report at a glance, in a quick overview. So what I've done was construct creative talent and creative society indexes, and then I performed a mapping study for the EU 28. For this report, I considered the UK as part of the European Union because still in the period analyzed, the UK was still part of the European Union. So I analyzed these two indexes against more than 25 socioeconomic indicators, and this with more than 50 figures and charts. And so we in this idea for creating a key modeling, which is highlighted in 10 infographics throughout the report. And with this, what I've done is to analyze the impact of creativity on productivity, business innovation, and growth, with use cases and case studies from across industries, more than 10 industries, including the public sector and civil society, and also businesses, private businesses. And also I have examined how digitization and the platform economy and artificial intelligence impact on human creativity, and also explore the EU creativity in the global context, just to give you an overview of this research. So what was the aim of this research? So the research aimed to answer these questions: why and where talent emerge, and which are the circumstances that enable creativity to flourish at business and societal level, and why some territories or some businesses are more creative than others. And one very, very important area of the report and a challenge for creatives across the world is how the platform economy and the artificial intelligence is impacting human creativity. So that's also one of the key pillars in which I have focused in this research. So, like I mentioned earlier, I constructed a creative talent in workplaces and creative society indexes, and then, like you can see, the creative talent in workplaces, which will be the focus of today, it got also 1 second because more people are joining. Hello everyone, Elizabeth and Nina and Sunit. So just I accept you for joining the meeting, and I will carry on. So the creative talent in workplaces index is based on these pillars, as you can see on this slide. So which are related to, the pillars are related to the key elements that makes creativity at workplaces relevant. So the work needs to be useful. The workers need to be focused on problem solving. Otherwise, need to be constantly learning new skills and work on complex tasks. Because if the work it can be more simple, more iterative, it can be simply automated. So that's one of the key things. Creative workers are able to apply their own ideas at work, and are able to decide both to manage their own task and the task order, so they can have an influence in the way they schedule their own daily routines, their own daily work. And it's of course no monotony, like I mentioned earlier. It's essential, otherwise the work can be simply automated. And creative workers also, or creative organizations, are characterized by recognizing the creativity strategically. So work recognition is essential. And creative organizations are also characterized by giving more autonomy to their teams. So with these elements, I built a creative talent in workplaces index. And the next one. And this this index was 4 key regions had been identified in the analysis across Europe. So the most the creative leaders are the Scandinavian countries, and Western Europe have also a strong level of creativity in workplaces and both at societal level as well. And then far behind are the Southern Europe countries and Eastern Europe, Central and Eastern Europe countries. And this we're going to see for particular reasons, which I will explain further in a couple of minutes. Like I mentioned earlier, the analysis has focused in 4 key areas. So more than 25 socioeconomic and digitization and sustainability indicators have been analyzed from the point of view of economic and business, including, for example, productivity, business growth, and in organization innovation, as we're going to see in the chart later on. Human development, which is essential in terms of if we want really creativity at the organizational level or business level, but also in the society. So we need education, public health, and economic opportunity. And digitization and the platform economy and artificial intelligence. And after those, as well, I put in relation creativity and sustainability and the sustainable development goals. So creative talent is not just something nice to have, like for the businesses to say, well, you know, we have made some training for the staff just to give them some kind of team building activity. Like very often it's considered like just as one good things to add to the you know, for the keep the retention, worker retention, or employee retention, etc. But it's something like need to be understood in a more strategic way. And so because creative talent aligns to business and organizational innovation, as we can see in this graph, and fostering creative leadership and competitive advantage for the organization that take creativity in a more strategic way. And one of the key aspects for organizations is to understand that creativity is linked essentially with lifelong learning. So creative talent in workplaces is correlated to social milieux that harness by the labor protection, equality, and social mobility and digitization, but particularly, as we highlighted in this chart, by continuous learning. So this can apply by the society having more opportunities provided to everyone for accessing continuous learning programs, lifelong learning programs, but also for businesses to take more, to providing more training in-house, in-company training for their staff, and for providing also more cooperation with institutions and with other businesses, specifically experts on this topic. So like that, they can scale internal creativity in their teams. And this is the key data from this slide, previous slide, like in Central Eastern Europe, that you can really visualize the gap in between the creative talent index in one geographical area leading, like the Scandinavian countries, and the one bit more behind, the Central and Eastern Europe countries. So whether only 7% of adults are enrolled in lifelong learning programs in Central and Eastern Europe countries, 28%, so 4 times more, are actually enrolled in continuous learning programs in the Scandinavian countries. So this is a key factor for developing creativity in workplaces, is to really focus on training their staff. Within this report, I outline a model for applying creativity in workplaces and at societal level, and with 3 key pillars, which is the human development, digitization, and sustainability. So when I mean human development, I mean the continuous learning, and digitization is to embrace also digital transformation, but understanding these 2 elements embraced within the sustainability as a core concept in terms of the business sustainability, but also in terms of the environmental sustainability. And to sum up my presentation today, so just to highlight that creativity in business and organizations can be assessed. So we can perform actually an assessment to analyze which are the gaps, which are the needs, the skill needs in your business and organization. We can train creativity, and we can scale it up. So to transform creativity into innovations and results. So how Economia Creativa can help you to do that? So like I mentioned, we can provide a creative talent assessment. we can develop or perform mapping creativity studies for your particular business. So to map the creativity needs in a global corporation across countries, for example, to provide benchmarking studies or capacity building and workshops. So creativity, that's I think we all agree, and I think that's one of the key elements to address. And so that's creativity needs openness and freedom, and to provide really the recognition and and to keep the space and psychological security, as also been discussed for the workers and for the teams to feel safe and to feel like they can try new things, and they can be making mistakes. If they make mistakes, it will not be the end of the world, and they will be still supported in the creative process. So because this is the key also idea, the creativity is a process, so it requires time to produce results, but it's an investment in the long-term perspective. So thanks very much everyone for being in this session today, and keep tuned to the follow-ups, and of course get in touch if you would like to explore further or have any questions, or would like to know more about our services. Thanks very much, and have a wonderful
similar
afternoon.
Events?
Sorry?
In the coming future? Will there be more similar events in the coming future?
In fact, yeah, that's one of the key ideas, is to, because this is a long-term project, mapping creativity, so we will be, that's why I mentioned to keep tuned in our social media that you have here in our, you will also, of course, find the links in our website. So we will every month or every other month we will probably having a new events, workshops with a focus on a particular area, but within the project of mapping creativity. So
Antonio, are you planning to do any mapping in Africa? I'm based in Africa.
Well, that's you know, of course, if it's an interest, we can do. If you have the interest, you can get in touch, and that will be, of course, we can. We have developed projects in Angola and in Morocco, for example, so we can, of course, carry out the research for Africa. If it's, of course, it's a commission or it's an assignment on this topic, of course.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you.
Ciao.